Look who I've got back with me.
In the house.
It's Mr. Alfredo. How are you doing, Fred?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Oh, this tightens automatically.
I know, isn't it great? It gives you that little sort of, it's like wearing a corset, isn't it?
Take the mic out just in case.
Gives you, actually, that's a good point. So, how are you, sir?
I'm very well. This is a Christmas period, isn't it?
Yeah, nice to have you back in the, I was going to say the driving seat, not quite, in the passenger seat. And what are we up to today, sir?
Today we're doing Calahonda.
Just passing an ice cream bar.
Calahonda in Mijas Costa.
What does Calahonda mean?
It means deep
cove. Deep cove, deep bay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We've just had a sausage sandwich to start the day. Well, I have. You've had a full English, haven't you? We're allowed to mention that.
We can.
Although it's fat jab day for me, so I need to be careful about my intake of carbs.
Oh gosh. So let's talk Turkey. Where are we right now?
Okay, we're in Calahonda.
We're in the middle of it, aren't we? Really?
We are. This is the sort of newish commercial centre, Las Jarales, which is where my bank is. So I get down here quite a bit actually. But this, do you know, it's like going back in time. It's like going back 24 years because this is where it all started for me on my real estate journey. I got a job with Viva Estates, as they were called at the time, and they put me in a little office in Doña Lola, which is just on the beach here in Calahonda. And I had, I don't know how long, 18 months, 12 months of great times actually. But yeah, 24 years ago, you can imagine it was very different.
Was it?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think the first, considering I'd never done real estate sales before, I think the first like 15 people that I dealt with all bought. And I don't think that was me being particularly good. I just think it was the way the market was.
Cheap and cheerful in those days. Now, but prices have changed a bit since then.
They have changed a bit. But it was those days when, you know, EasyJet, Ryanair were just coming into their own, and it was everyone wanted a little piece of Spain. It was easy to get a mortgage, so that was the boom period really, and it was great fun. So yeah, so Calahonda holds very fond memories for me. How well do you know it?
Medium.
Okay.
Medium. I've been here a bunch of times, but I've not, only in passing.
Yeah, because you're nearer here than I am, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm been on Malina, so this is still to me not the old Costa del Sol. For me, the Costa del Sol goes up to the Fuengirola where the train line ends.
Okay.
The original, like my patch. This person here is like,
come on,
go for it, buddy.
Go for it. Got to go for it. Oh, he's
so,
going this
so
way.
yes, we didn't really come here very much growing up because there was no way to get here other than put, maybe a bus or something, but no need for that. This is, for me, I perceive it as a very British tourist destination type place.
Yeah.
But it isn't just British, is it, here? It's also
a lot of Brits here, but it's become more multinational, I would say. This is one of the main commercial centres. So Calahonda's quite easy to navigate because it's like a horseshoe, and at the end of each leg of the horseshoe you've got a commercial centre. So this is one of them, and this has got pretty much all you need. It's got supermarket, banks, variety of shops, lawyers, estate agents, all the essentials in life. And this place on the right I used to go to quite a lot. It used to be Mielinata, but it's a real meeting point, lots of parking, and they've now got a restaurant up at the top. But what we're going to do the horseshoe, so that you can feel Calahonda's really nice. It gets a little bit of a bad rep, but it's very leafy. There's two parts to it really. One is Lower Calahonda, which is where we are now, where you can walk from a lot of places to the beach, and the beaches are decent. And then you go up into the middle section where you've got the little golf club, and then you go to the top, which is where most of the recent build has been taking place. And by recent, I don't even mean the last sort of 5 or 10 years. I mean the last 20 years. But it's a nice residential neighbourhood.
But like you say, it's super residential, isn't it? As in, other than the other three commercial centres by the main road at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then everything above it pretty much is residential, with the exception of, you said, there's the golf course, is there?
Yeah, you've got a little golf course, and you've got gyms and stuff like that. I mean, you can see, if you can see the properties on film, you can see that a lot of them are quite old. The lower part was the first half to be developed, really. So this is where you're going to find the older stock. On the left is another little commercial, little commercial area, and the gym. So that's the Oxygen Gym, which is, as you can see, a few people working out in there. And then you've got a few little locales, which are little commercial shops and services there. But there's little avenues off. This is the horseshoe, if you like. But then there's little avenues off of here where you've got villas and apartments and townhouses, a nice mix of things. But we're going to do the full horseshoe, and then we'll come back and go up the hill. The nice thing about Calahonda is it's very easy to get to places because you've got two main exits onto the highway. It's very easy to get east or west, and at the top of the hill, you've also got immediate access to the toll road. So if you need to get to the airport and if it's a bit cloggy on the coast road, you just nip up to the toll road and take that, and you'll be at the airport in 25-30 minutes. This is called the Strip because it's just a strip of bars, restaurants, shops, souvenir shops, little mini markets, the usual sort of tourist thing. So if people are here for a 2-week holiday, this is where you'll probably spend most of your time.
Irish pub.
Irish, of course, the obligatory Irish pub. And this area here, very popular for holidays, very popular for tourist rentals. Because again, from here, we're coming now down to the bottom of the other part of the horseshoe. From here, you can walk to the beach. So it's rather nice. Slow boat to China. I feel like we're on a slow boat to China. What's going on?
Is there a lot of new stock here, or is it all quite old?
A lot of this is old. So the newer stock is up at the top of the hill, but even that isn't particularly new. But I think that's because most of the land is now being developed. So what you'll find is that further development, later development, has gone on the outskirts of Calahonda, because Calahonda's really always been very, very popular.
It's in Mijas, right? The Mijas municipality.
Exactly.
And the nearest thing, the next bit along is Marbella, right?
Yeah.
We're on the border between
that's right.
Mijas and Marbella.
So there's Calahonda, and then the next one along is Cabopino. And Cabopino is only a small little place. It's most famous for its harbour, and that is the last bit of Mijas Costa. And
Cabopino is technically Marbella.
Technically Marbella, yeah. Well, there's a development in Cabopino, which half of it's in Mijas and half of it's in Marbella, which causes endless problems. So this is El Zoco, which is quite a famous little shopping area, commercial area. Again, supermarkets, loads of restaurants, pharmacy there, but very, very popular. So you've got this place, you've got the other place at the other end of the horseshoe.
Oh, now we're going under the...
Going under, heading for the beach.
Right.
So the beach is literally just there on our left as we drive through here.
And in terms of approximately affordability-wise, how does it compare to other areas along the coast?
So this area is going to be cheaper than Marbella for sure. You'll notice a hike. I'm going to go, by the way, I'm just going to go here and then come back, okay? So this on the left is El Zoco, and then we've got on the right Doña Lola, which is where I started my real estate career.
Oh, wow.
I think they've probably forgotten about me by now. And then you've got this little area on the left, which is called Calypso. It doesn't really register on a lot of maps and stuff like that because it's just an area known as Calypso, and that is probably the lower end of Calahonda in terms of price bracket. But yeah, Calahonda itself, price-wise, definitely lower price than Marbella, but most of Mijas Costa is. But it's also not as expensive as somewhere like La Cala de Mijas, because La Cala, a lot of the stuff there is new builds, and you can walk to the beach from a lot of areas. So Calahonda's a more traditional area. It's more well established, I would say. And because of that, because a lot of properties were built when the prices weren't too extortionate, they're not resold at extortionate prices now. I mean, prices have gone up everywhere, don't get me wrong, but Calahonda's still relatively good value, I would say.
And the beaches, you said, are good?
Yeah, the beaches are not bad at all. From here, a Cabopino beach is very nice, and then the Mijas Costa beaches down to La Cala, they're all nice sandy beaches actually. So here we are on the beach in Calahonda. Now Calahonda's got a big stretch of nice sandy beach. This is just one of them. And we're on a beach, Royal Beach is the little Chiringuito, little beach bar. There's plenty of others all along this coastline, but not bad for the end of December, is it? I've got my jumper on. It's a little bit cool, but still not a bad little life. And one really important thing is this that we're standing on is the boardwalk. So this links Calahonda with La Cala de Mijas all the way down that way. And the hope is, and the aim is, that this will link up the whole of the Mediterranean coastline in Spain. When, I'm not so sure, but they're doing a good job so far.
And is it mostly holiday homes on the whole?
I would say holiday homes and also permanent living. A lot of people, traditionally, a lot of Brits and Northern Europeans who maybe don't have the budget for Marbella and they like the expat vibe here, then they settled here over the last 20 years. And they're the people that have made this place what it is, really. So this is the El Zoco end of Calahonda. And if we carried on all the way up here, we would eventually come to the toll road.
Right. Oh, so there's another commercial centre called Los Olivos, no? It's up
Los
here.
Olivos, which is just up here. We'll do a little
Right,
drive-by
okay.
of that as well. So, yeah, there's actually 4 centres. Los Olivos is the most recent one.
Mostly a giant supermarket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think it's the Mascon. Oh, Mass.
There's a mass, but right next to it, I think it's Carpool or something.
Yes, you're right.
That's because when I come off the toll road, I come down this road.
Yeah, it's pretty handy, isn't it?
It is. I think that the toll connection
Yeah.
for anybody that isn't in the hills, the toll connection, I find it super useful because really it's the only, other than Fuengirola, where you get on.
Yeah.
Your next one's Marbella.
I know.
So for the whole of Mijas Costa,
It's this.
the nearest spot of getting onto the toll
Yeah.
is basically the top of Calahonda stroke Riviera, right? It's like
That's
Calahonda
right.
border.
You mentioned new developments. El Romeral
yeah.
was completed, I would say, sort of 2 or 3 years ago.
Very popular. Vista, wasn't it?
Alta Vista, yeah, townhouses. There's a lovely development here on the left, which I think is Calahonda. Is it Grand Calahonda or Calahonda Park? Let's find out. Grand Calahonda, yeah, that's one of my favourites. Las Casitas. So there's lots of different types, apartments, townhouses. This is the sort of the newer end, if you like. You can see it hasn't been developed particularly much. And then we're into countryside, really.
So this is kind of the border between Calahonda and Riviera del Sol, more or less. Is that
so
about right?
Riviera, which we just touched on before as we did a little turnaround on the main road. That's Riviera del Sol on the right.
On the right hand side.
And it's Riviera del Sol and Miraflores kind of join up at the top. Calahonda, because of the toll road layout, it's kind of maintained a little bit of its independence. But they're very, very close together.
And quite similar generally.
Yeah,
no?
yeah, very similar. And a lot of people now don't even distinguish between them. They just, places like Max Beach and Riviera, people from Calahonda would use that because they can walk.
This stuff ahead of us, is that
Yeah.
the top part of Calahonda that you were talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be on the other side of the motorway, the toll road motorway, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. What we're going to do, actually, we're going to come back because I'm going to take you up to that area, but via a more interesting route. So you see, this is the entrance to Riviera del Sol.
And the toll road here.
Yeah, and the toll road. So this is kind of the split.
Right.
But Calahonda, I said it was where I started my real estate career. We actually, when we first moved here all those years ago, we actually put a deposit down on an apartment in Calahonda, up at the top, with ocean estates, and it was a penthouse. We thought we were really pushing the boat out. So yeah, we reserved a penthouse in Altos de Calahonda with a roof terrace, and we thought, wow. The agent at Ocean said, oh, boys, you'll have a penthouse in Calahonda. You'll have made it. I thought, wow, yeah, we'll have made it. I look back at the price now. I think it was about 16 million pesetas, which was, I think, about £65,000.
I was going to say, friends of mine, just after during the crash,
Yeah.
like slam in the middle, like 2008, they bought a small 2-bedroom apartment in the top part of Calahonda.
Yeah.
From, I think it was like a bank repossession or something, and they paid, it's less than 90,000.
Yeah.
It was 80 something that
Yeah.
they paid for it in a gated sort of community with pool, indoor parking,
Yeah.
newish. It hadn't been lived like most of it. And the funny thing is that when I went to visit them after they moved in, they were one of the first 2, I think, families that bought something in it. I think it'd been a development that had being built just before the crash.
And then, of course,
It all crashed,
Yeah.
and there was basically empty. There were no there were no people living there
Yeah.
for the first year or so that they were there. And amazing views from up there.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so perched so high up, you get this real proper panoramic view because you're perched right above basically everything.
Yeah,
You know?
that's amazing. I mean, if you imagine 2001, which is when we came here, we were fed up with the UK. We were earning good money, but we were burnt out. Had a nice home, and we just felt like we were escaping. And a penthouse at the top of Calahonda for £60,000 was like, wow, we'll have a bit of that.
Yeah,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I think for context, now something like what I was saying was 80. I think it's about 350.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, 80 was low, even for then.
Yeah, that is low.
You know, I think maybe that would have been under normal circumstances about 125. That place.
Yeah.
And,
But you're right, because at those times when people were buying the bank repos, no one was buying. It was so people who did that and got an amazing deal deserve to have an amazing deal because they were the risk takers.
Yeah.
They were the early adopters, and they always say, don't they? You should buy when everyone else is selling and sell when everyone else is buying. And it's true, isn't it? So when the market is doomed and distressed and there's no one in it, have a look for the bargains. Right, so we are going to go back up the strip.
Okay, so just for context, down there is where we started.
Yep. And
Los Jarales. We've kind of come back down this way. Now we're going back up again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So rather than doing a horseshoe, we're sort of doing a zigzag.
We've done a horseshoe, and we're going to come back to halfway. We did
More
do
of
the
a tooth,
horseshoe.
no? More of a... Like a...
Depends how your horseshoe's shaped. Normally it's horseshoe shaped, doesn't it?
Ah.
We're gonna argue about the shape of a horseshoe.
No. Bogarts.
Bogarts, that's been there for years. Bloody hell. But this place is always busy, always popular. Anything within walking distance of here is going to probably sell well and rent well because people do like being able to walk out to things. And there's not many places on the Costa del Sol, apart from the towns, where you do have all these amenities available. I mean, some people say it's a little bit British, it's a little bit,
Expaty.
chips and egg, and well, that's fine. I mean, some people love that.
Yeah.
That's the mass market, really, isn't it?
But it's not, I like my high-rise stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Like,
Don't ask me about
Fongirola, Torremolinos, Benalmádena, there's lots and lots of
Yes.
more like what would have been traditional, like apart hotels and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
they're 10 stories high. But as soon as you go past the train line stops, Fongirola,
Yeah.
Mijas Costa, it's very, very densely built. But it all seems to be 2 or 3 stories.
It's lower level. There's one or two on the beach side. Obviously got through the net or were built at a certain time when that was allowed, but there's very, very few. This is
nice.
These are really popular Jardines del Paraíso, which are little townhouses. So you've got your own little driveway.
Lovely, this.
Yeah,
I'd have this.
yeah. It's a super place to live. It really is. I mean, there's villas now. We're in the villa country. Villas on the left, townhouses on the right.
Yeah, I think townhouses is probably what I'm seeing most of.
Yeah.
The little sort of...
Of course, most developers don't particularly like building townhouses because the yields are in apartments. Because if you're going to build, say, a 4-storey townhouse, you could get 2 apartments in there, couldn't you? So, or 3 or 4 apartments, depending on.
So where are we going now? We're going up.
Going right to the top. So,
Okay. I mean, it's important to say, isn't it, that if you don't have... if you lived at the top, you lived there full time, you'd probably want to get a car.
oh yeah, you would absolutely.
You
Yeah, it's
can't
impossible.
really go do your shopping and wait for the little road train or whatever you call it.
Exactly. This on the left is the golf course. It's just a little 9-hole La Siesta, but it makes the landscape really beautiful. Here's the entrance here.
Club de Golf La Siesta.
Yeah, 9-hole golf course. But keeps it green. Do you know what I mean? Because as you'll see when we get up to the top, if you put a lot of buildings together, it can suddenly become a bit whoa.
Yeah, it
A
reminds me
clubhouse
a
there.
little bit. Oh yeah.
So not a lot of people know this, but in Calahonda, right in the middle of Calahonda, halfway up the hill, is this. It's a little old 9-hole golf course, which is super cute. Lovely little clubhouse, nice social clubhouse. You've got the gym and the paddle and tennis club just opposite you. Honestly, it's a little sporting haven in the middle of Calahonda. Then we've got the Club del Sol, which is very well known
It's
for
been here
tennis.
forever, isn't it, this place?
Yeah, tennis and paddle and squash and God knows. So there's lots of things to do up
More
here.
of these tiny little townhouses.
Yeah, you like one of these, don't you? I can see
fair.
you'll be here next year. Moving in.
That is nice.
It is. A couple of little restaurants here. A lot of these apartment developments are so well known. They've been going for like 30 years, maybe longer. So they've got, people who come back time and again on holidays and stuff like that. It's a very, very well developed and well established area. More townhouses for you. Here you go.
Cute little things, aren't they?
Colinas de Calahonda. This is a very well known development.
I mean, it does remind me a little bit of Malin in the sense that, yes, there's like the golf course with the green bit, but there's it's a lot of cement otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to Arroyo de la Miel and it's just a sea of cement.
Yeah.
So it is low rise, so you got a lot of sky and stuff like that. It's on a big hill, so you're going to get the views, but it does feel like you're surrounded by houses, don't you? Rather than
I think what helps here is that you're on an incline, so there's a degree of separation, height separation between all the blocks. I think it would be worse if they were all on one level.
That was a nice point there.
Yeah, it was.
So where's the motorway? The toll road?
We're right on top of it any
okay.
second. So literally, we're just passing over the toll road now, I think. And then this is a very famous restaurant, Miele Nata. They used to have the one down below as well, but they've got this one now. But this is kind of like the little commercial area for the people at the top of the hill. So I think there's a couple of bars here, a couple of restaurants. But it's nice to have this. You don't have to go all the way down to the coast. You've got this little drop off here. And then, this is these are the heights of Calahonda. So if you love a view and a lovely sea view, then this is the place for you. I know, hey?
That is some serious.
But it starts getting quite steep now. So a lot of these developments are clinging into the hillsides.
But the roads are good though. It's not like
they are. This is El Portón, which was built at the same time as the one that I initially chose. That was, these are, God, that takes me back, it really does. So this development in front of us, the yellowy one, was the one I plumped for when I first came over. And,
The cool thing is that you can get from here, like if you got to go to the airport or Marbella, whatever, you can just
fast.
You can get dead fast because you don't have to go right to the bottom.
No, not at
you
all.
can just get onto the toll.
In fact, there's a little arrow here for the toll road.
Right, that's super handy.
It is, isn't it? So all this looks in good nick actually.
Yeah, it does.
Should have kept it. The reason we backed out and ended up at the top of Elveria was because there was a delay to the building and we had to be in.
This one here said Bonita Hills.
Bonita Hills,
and it says 2004, so that's kind of what you're saying, isn't it?
And Cascada de Calahonda was the creme de la creme of this area. That was really nice. They were very spacious, top quality properties. You're going to ask me what that thing is up there, aren't you? I have no idea. But we're into like farmland here.
Yeah, it is.
And then this is the one right at the top. Oh, my ears have popped. And this is Las Palmeras.
I mean, because you wouldn't see this unless you lived here.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be here, is there? There's going to be no through traffic or
absolutely not,
or anything like that. So even though I know Calahonda quite well from visiting it a lot, I don't think I've ever been up here because I've no reason to.
No, exactly. You wouldn't come up here unless you lived
Which
here.
is nice if you live here because it means you don't have
passing traffic.
You don't have passing traffic. Yeah. I imagine to be quite quiet.
But I remember Las Palmeras. That was one of those developments you're talking about, really. That was just great development, but built at the wrong time. So it got a bit bank repoed and a bit distressed, which meant that if you were going to invest there, you were investing when it probably didn't look half as good as it does now. If people like Calahonda, it's a very distinct choice. Do you want the views and the more modern style apartments, or do you want to be in the thick of the action, but also surrounded by greenery? Because it is very green down the bottom. A lot of people don't think it's going to be, but if you actually Google Earth it.
I mean, I think if you were a buyer that wanted to maybe have a little holiday home, post-retirement type thing to come and spend a few winter months here or winter weeks, I'd go to the bottom.
Yeah.
Because it's just handy. Everything's next to you.
Totally. And
you got the beach there, which is nice. At the end of the day, we take it for granted, but people come here for that. But if I was buying somewhere for like family stuff, I think I'd want to be up here. This feels a bit more exclusive and a little bit
more sort of permanent.
Yeah, just a little bit more peaceful as well.
Yeah.
A little bit more space, a little bit less hustle and bustle. The bottom end seems a bit higgledy-piggledy. I know there's some it goes by urbanization, doesn't it? So some urbanizations are very nice.
Okay, here we are in Calahonda. We've just left the very top of Calahonda. We've stopped here, not because I want to show you the toll road, but it is quite important just so you can get your bearings. The toll road is beneath us here. You can probably hear it. In the far distance, you can just pick out what I call the Twin Towers. Bit of an unfortunate statement, but the Twin Towers of Elveria, where you've got the Don Carlos Hotel, the big high-rise hotel, which is amazing. So that is the start, really, of Marbella, what you can see behind me, or East Marbella. And then as you go even further back, you'll see, as we go around the coast, you'll see the Rock of Gibraltar, and also the African mountains of Morocco, if the glare isn't too much. But yeah, we're at quite a high point here. You can probably see we're probably 350 meters above sea level, I would guess. So Calahonda is all laid out beneath us, Marbella behind us, and then round to the western side of the Costa del Sol in the very far distance. So that's it, that's Calahonda for you. The beach, the mountains, the golf, the shopping, everything really. Alfredo and I have chosen our pedalo, we're off. In the meantime, hope you've enjoyed this little carpool of Calahonda. Until the next one, bye for now.